Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
The Daily Compliance News for December 8, 2023, the Serpico at 50 edition. And we begin with that story from The Guardian. The movie Serpico turns 50 this year. If you've never seen it and you want to know about the invidiousness of corruption on a police department or the risks of a whistleblower, it is perhaps the best movie ever along those lines. It starred Al Pacino and was directed by Sidney Lumet. It was a great story of how Frank Serpico, the real-life whistleblower who risked his life to expose a crooked system, did so in New York City and was nearly killed for his trouble. Can't say enough about the movie. If you've never seen it, check it out. Serpico at 50. Next up, from Brookings, how anti-corruption efforts strengthen global democracy and security. We've always known on a gut level that ABC programs strengthen democracy. Well, on a new episode of The Current, Norman Eisen, a senior fellow in governance study and the newly chair of the newly launched Global Anti-Corruption Democracy and Security Project at Brookings, talks about the project and explains why fighting corruption and promoting good governance are the keys to democracy and security. Next, we have 2 articles from the Wall Street Journal. The first from the CFO Journal. Actually, they're both from the CFO Journal. The first asks the question, OpenAI's board structure, should it change to make it govern more effectively? They do have an unusual board structure, but it's not something that is not seen in other organizations. It is a nonprofit which owns the for-profit company. The structure gives the oversight of the for-profit company to the nonprofit board. And one suggestion has been dissolve the nonprofit and say corporate and nonprofit directors, and then sort out potential conflicts of interest going forward. One commentator said for-profit and nonprofits don't mix. They have different goals. Well, you have different goals all the time in corporations. I don't see the problem. Nevertheless, there will be a robust discussion about this. And our final story, also coming to us from the CFO Journal, is an interview with a SEC's chief accountant on what worries him. Well, it's the assessment of risk by auditor, firm cultures, and the importance of cash flow statements. No surprise to any of those.
The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.